You know I'm going to clip that tiny little part and put it on Twitter.
I don't care, whatever.
So we're back here with episode 45 of the GameFi Rundown. We have Jimberino, as always. Jimbo, how you doing?
Feeling good, feeling great. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's go. And then we got JP. JB, thanks for showing up. Glad to get into a conversation with you. And as you can see down here, we got a sponsor for this episode. So Arcade is sponsoring this episode, and we'll touch a little bit more on that in a little bit. But let's just get right into the first topic here. So we'll start off with a couple of Illuvium ones, and then we get some other things to talk about. So Illuvium, we've had the testnet for a few weeks now. I've actually gone and streamed a couple times. Jimbo, I'm sure you've been streaming a little bit too. I've noticed a lot more like people engaged with the streaming and the content that's coming out about the overworld, because it just seems more engaging than it had been before. So from your side, are you seeing any? I guess from a community standpoint, are you more likely to watch people playing this overworld now compared to last time? And can you see more people tuning into this? As we, ramp up marketing and getting into open beta? Jimbo.
I'm not sure, like, because it's still cool seeing like a really rare alluvial in the overworld, right? But they're still not on chain. I feel like the main pool, I don't feel like, I know the main pool of overworld is seeing that big, massive alluvial that's worth this amount, or failing to catch that alluvial. Those are like the big hype moments when people are playing overworld. And without it being on chain and without them actually having value, I could see like viewership dying down, but it obviously that's just the case, right? Like once everything gets on chain, once everything's tradable, once the epic fails, the epic wins come in, and people are like actually getting real life money, and these have actual consequences. That's when I think Overworld will be a really really good streamable game. I've always said it's gonna end up being like a just chatting stream, except you're like doing some overworld runs in between, right? The only time you really can't read chat while you're playing is while you're shooting at alluvial, and that really doesn't last that long. I've personally found myself to be much more engaged with chat just because I'm able to pay attention to it much easier than if I were saying, say, playing arena, which people are still engaged, but they're not engaging with you. They're engaging with their brain and watching arena and learning. Whereas overworld's much more casual, but it has that potential for like those big holy shit moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, first of all, I just know, maybe it's because I'm not that great at shooting these alluvials yet, but like if I see one, I'm like, I want to go get one. Then I'm like, then I have to get zoned in for a second because it takes me a little while to shoot them down. But just having them run away is better than the last version where nothing was ever like running away from you. You really didn't need any skill. You just shoot, or you didn't even shoot rocks. You ran up to the rocks and then you shot the little orbs that were only just moving around in a circle. But now it just seems a little more engaging. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It could just be a chill chat. You could be talking with people, and then all of a sudden you see that a fisto way in the background, and it's like, oh, I gotta go get this, and then things get more intense. JP, how you been liking the new testnet so far? You been playing a little?
Yeah, no, I definitely am having a lot more fun with it than the last version that was, and I think Jimbo and I agree on that. I also agree with the general take that once there's an economy that's live, I think that's really going to change the way people interact with all of this. Not only as viewers, but just as players, it's going to be more fun when there's things on the line and you're finding stuff that has real world money value essentially. And the testnet, it shows how all of that is going to work. But again, at the end of the day, it's just if you find a Ramfire, you're not finding a $5,000 NFT. You're just you're finding something cool. And for all intents and purposes, it is still on chain, I guess, since it's testnet. But it's the economy's not live, right? So I think that's really where we're going to see a lot of the activity and interest ramp up.
I remember I was actually joking around with Jimbo one time saying like I'd actually be pretty pissed if I came across a Ramfire in the testnet, because I'd be like, there goes my luck for open
Yeah.
beta. I want to come across every common crappy alluvial out there, so my luck hits me when open beta comes.
I'm just glad Dark Hollows and Hollows aren't into the PV4. I would actually punch something if I came across one of those and it wasn't like on that real chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, are they not though? Because I've seen some Twitter posts. I haven't seen any personally in game, but
I
I've
think
seen
there
some
was a
Twitter
meme
posts.
going around, but I think it was just a meme because
Yeah,
I'm not sure
Because it
what.
was always the same one that I saw. It was always
Yeah,
The
the
yeah,
moth.
moth. Yeah, I
Yeah,
kept seeing the
we all
moth. I'm
saw the
like, okay.
same thing, so
yeah. That was just a
it's
meme.
probably not legit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that. I thought I just hadn't. I haven't played like I've probably put in maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I hadn't seen one. But I was just like, maybe they're just that rare. But yeah, that'll make things a little more exciting when we're in open beta to see those, especially if you're streaming. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
stream as
Hmm.
much as I can. If I'm gonna play and I can stream, I'm probably just gonna hop on anyways. Like, might as well turn it on and
Yeah.
stream if I'm gonna play, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we do have an important segment to get into here, but before we get into this, we're gonna run a quick ad for our sponsor, Arcade. Did you do that?
I guess this did it. The thumbs
Oh,
up.
That was
all right.
crazy.
So
I thought you just did that. It did it
I know. I
itself.
thought you like pressed the
Yeah, I
button and
thought.
did that too.
Hold on, let me try it.
Introducing Arcade to Earn, the revolutionary crypto platform that combines the thrill of gaming with the power of the blockchain. Experience the excitement of mission pools, where you can earn rewards while others play your favorite games. Get exposure to a diverse range of Web3 gaming projects all in one place. Invest in the ARC token and become part of a vibrant community of gamers and crypto enthusiasts. Join Arcade to Earn today and discover the future of gaming. All right, so again, thank you to Arcade for sponsoring this episode. And if you know anyone out there who wants to sponsor a future episode, get at me in the DMs. So we're gonna move on to this next segment. So I'm gonna let Jimbo run with this one, but this is a very, it was a tough one to hear about, but very important to get out there. So Jimbo, what do we have going on here?
Okay, so Rajir a couple days ago, I think it was Monday, May 13th, put up a post on Twitter saying, "Hey Illuvium community, I'm going to need your attention for just a minute." Talks about how one of our Illuvium Labs members, one of our core contributors, he suddenly lost consciousness. It was a stroke. He had a stroke,
yeah.
and he has a daughter. It looks like he's lost control over his right arm and leg, and especially as an artist who's right-handed, that's kind of crippling. It's a nightmare. He has a daughter, has a family. So what we're doing as a community, as the Illuvium community, I really want to see this blow up, and I really want to see some support from the community, because that's what this is all about. We really talk about wanting to be this like family and like come together, and now this is our time to prove it. Let's take care of one of our own. You know what I mean? Give what you can. If you can, give your thoughts, send some prayers, whatever you can. But we will be posting the wallet address right in the comments, so that should be pinned down below or in the description, whatever Najaf decides to do. But it's
I'll put a link to this post so you can just get the ETH address right from here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and just remember
make sure you get the right one.
Just remember as well, it's on Ethereum, so like you can't be sending like Solana or something to it, right? I'll just but yeah, really, really sad to hear. But one of the cool things is that we can come together and really help someone in need who needs it and their family needs it. He's got a little baby that they really need to help take care of. So if you have something, please spare some for one of our own.
Yeah, definitely. I saw this. It's tough to see because whenever somebody's just struggling with health issues, sometimes it's just unfortunate, and these things just happen. Health is so important, and people just get consumed in like crypto and gaming and all the stuff going on the internet, and sometimes they they might neglect their health. But like to me, you could the crypto markets could pump tomorrow. You could get completely rich, but if you don't have health to go along with, or I guess health is wealth, is what I like to think of it as. So yeah, unfortunate to see.
Yeah,
I do just want to add, a credit to Rajia as well as the community so far. Looking at the Ether scan, looks like $18,472 has been sent so far. So
wow.
when I looked at it, when I first saw the post and looked at it, it was less than 1,000 when I first saw it. So I mean, the community has started to come together, but really just I'm proud of the community for doing that, and everything you guys said is 100% accurate. We got to come together and health is wealth, right?
Yep.
It's so sad to hear that this has happened to him. So
Yeah, hearing that much has been given, I'm really proud of you guys. And still, if you can, I'm sure it's gonna be more than that. And if
oh, for
not,
sure, yeah. I mean,
I mean, if not, I'm sure we'll find a good cause to give it to, right? But again, this is one of those times where we need to prove that we can come together as a community and help each other out.
I did see, I don't know if it was in this post or a different post, that like he is recovering, like he's getting better already. He still has that lack of use of his right hand, I guess, which kind of puts him out of work right
He's an
now. Like he's
artist and he's
yeah,
right-handed, right? So he can't make money currently doing
Yeah.
his
yeah.
job. So
Again, health is wealth. Make sure you're staying healthy out there. Anything you can do to prevent something like this or anything from happening, then do that, because you don't want to end up in a situation where your crypto bags are pumping and you're
You can't
stuck
enjoy
in
them.
your yeah,
yeah.
you can't enjoy it exactly. Anything else before we move on to the next topic here? All right. So I want to talk a little bit about different ways you can get like Illuvium, like exposure to Illuvium, and I actually put something in here, a way that you can use Illuvium to get exposure somewhere else. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was IMX. So again, this is kind of works the other way, but let me share my screen here. I made another video on this, so you can go find that if you need help doing it. If you're not aware, you can actually get NFC trading rewards from IMX by trading your Illuvium collection. So if you look at eligible collections, you'll see that everything that Illuvium has is on here right now. So you have discs, you have Illuvatars, accessories, and I know land is in here too. Right here, Illuvium land. And then there's some tier rewards. So basically, whatever you're purchasing would need to be over a $10 value for you to get points towards IMX tokens. But it's just a way that, like, if you're participating in the Illuvium ecosystem, then you can get some exposure to IMX and earn a little something just from doing something that you might be doing already. So I just want to bring that up. Like I said, I have a video. Yeah, you can go check that out if you need any help with that, or just leave a comment down below and I can help you. But also, so we have lending and renting is another option that if you, let's say you don't have time to play Illuvium, or you're just, I know there are some people that are just very involved in it and they love Illuvium, but they might not have that much time to play, but they still want exposure to the game. And there are different platforms out there that are building lending and renting systems. I don't see that as something Illuvium is doing in-house right now. I know we had an IIP go through Community Council. It's to the IMC right now that's similar to that, but there are going to be different options popping up for lending and renting. So I always think that's a great idea. I mean, JP, what do you think on the lending and renting idea from like maybe a third party for Illuvium or any other game?
Yeah, so I mean, I think in general, I think some game developers are just going to natively build it in, but there are also a lot of third parties already doing it. For developers that they would have to pull resources away from other mission critical things related to the game in order to build a lending system, I don't know that that is the right call. I think that there are enough third parties that are working on it, right? We know of several that are working in that direction. So I do think that it's going to be necessary to have infrastructure and systems built for GameFi to succeed at scale with all of these different games. I think in some cases the game developers are just going to build it in as they go, and that's great. I think in other cases it's okay to lean on third parties for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it be like an in-house thing for Illuvium. But it's also, kind of like what you were saying. Like if they can spend their resources and their time towards something that only they can build and let a third party build out lending systems, then it just works better, all around for everybody. Jimbo, what are your thoughts on lending and renting? I know through the bear market, there's a lot of people who said like they didn't like the idea because it started out with like scholarships with Axes, and they thought it was a bad idea for these economies. But I've always been a big believer that it's important to have these and that these should be built out. But I mean, has your tune changed on that throughout the years, or are you going to try using any of the lending and renting systems?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the land game, so I'm probably going to be lending out my land for people to do it. I'm just not a city builder fan. Like, I don't care about lending really. I think the issue with Axie was just more everything else around it, not the actual, like, lending, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's a necessary thing. Like, we really need that, especially for those who, like, maybe aren't as Web3 friendly. If there's an option to lend them that's, like, intuitive, so they don't have to deal with the crypto shit. Maybe we're not there yet, but regardless, like, people should be able to play the game and have the full experience without having to pay all these massive amounts of money. And then, you can even get rewarded. So now you're playing for other people. You might not be getting a lot. You might not even be getting a lot at all. But at least you're getting something out of it so that you can build up your own digital assets in the Illuvium ecosystem. I'm completely fine with it. Actually, I'm going to use it. So
Yeah, it's funny because I've always been on the side where like I want to be the person who has the assets and lends them to someone else. So that's generally what I think about. But yeah, thinking about the person on the other side too. Yeah, like whether they're in a different part of the world, a third world country. Maybe the Philippines were big when it came to Axie. But being on the other end of that, where you can maybe take someone else's assets, earn something with it, and not have to pay anything up front, I think that's great for gamers all around, because there are going to be some gamers that just unfortunately can't afford to start playing a game like this outside of the free to play option. So this could give them an option to maybe get a little more exposure to it and build up a game set. Speaking of ILV exposure, I'm going to move right on to the next topic here. So mission pools. So another way that you can get Illuvium exposure along with exposure to many other games, like JP, you can help me out here. What are some of the big ones you have?
Got big
Mavia,
time
Star
Heroes of
Atlas.
Mavia, yeah, Star Atlas, big time Mars 4, and we're actively adding more to that list as well. I actually,
You should have an option to share. That's
yeah,
fine.
just
I
just
just I
just
just didn't know
quickly,
if you did.
yeah, so essentially mission pools are a derivative of in-game activity, and how this applies to like Illuvium. I think we had an Illuvium one, yeah, down here. So how it kind of applies, and this was a test one. Obviously, the economy is not live yet, so this was like a promotional one that we ran. But essentially, what you do as an ARC token holder is you take your ARC tokens, you come and deposit into the activity that you want exposure to. On the back end, actually, what's happening is kind of similar to the problem Jimbo brought up here, that we essentially take assets from all of these different games, we pair them with a gamer that may not have the capital needed or the interest in owning the asset, they just want to play the game. We pair the asset or the NFT with that gamer, and they run what's known as a mission for a mission pool, and the rewards are split between the player and the arcade token holders. So token holders come in, they deposit some tokens to express their interest in an activity. They get a proportional share of the rewards. And essentially, we just rinse and repeat across a growing number of GameFi titles. So the idea is to really make it easier for people to get exposure to the GameFi industry as a whole, all from one platform. Whether that Illuvium, maybe you're like Jimbo and you're not big on playing a base builder, you could just deposit ARC tokens into a tier 4 harvesting mission for Illuvium, get direct exposure to the in-game rewards from that activity without having to play the land or own the land, and then go and play whatever genre or title you want to play. If you're not interested in Star Atlas, but you think that the economy is going to do well, you can still get exposure to it through our platform without having to buy a ship or play the game. So that's the general idea, Nick. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a little bit about what we built.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the platform. I think I'm in my third mission pool right now. And really, my favorite part about it is just it's hands off. It's not something I need to log into every day. I logged in. I think the last one I'm in right now was a 30-day mission pool. So I'm hoping I get something good out of it. But I know I can. I just have my token sitting in there. I think it was a Star Atlas one. I'm also choosing not to do Illuvium based ones or Mavia based ones, because those are two games that I'm actually involved in already. So I already have the exposure there. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm getting into the mission pools for Star Atlas and some of those other names that are projects that, like, I believe will do well. I just don't have the time or the interest to really sink my time or money into it. So that's what I'm
Exactly.
using the arcade platform for, is to get exposure to those other things that I don't have time for.
Yeah, you
Jimbo?
got it, man.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is going to be really good for those of you who, again, you see a game, you don't have the time to play it. That sounds like just okay, but you have to think, like, to get what you need out of an NFT game, you have to be min-maxing everything. Like, I have to know exactly where to go to get the resources in this amount of time so I can make this amount of money. Oh, but if I go over here, maybe there'll be less people battling for the resources. Just like random things like that you learn over hundreds of hours of gameplay. Now you can push that off onto somebody else and you just get the rewards.
It's definitely I guess that's the one tough thing about like the Web3 gaming space is that you can't really diversify too much. Like in traditional gaming, like you could be playing 15 different games, like on the weekend you feel like playing this one game where you want to grind, and then you might hop into some PvP matches in another game that you have fun with. It's kind of hard to get that in Web3, without losing out on money, I guess, because if you're buying NFTs to get involved in different games, and then you're not min maxing every one of those games, like you put yourself in a tough situation. But
And there's
yeah,
a lot of
I'm gonna
gamers
be
that don't. Sorry, yeah, I was just
no,
going
go
to
ahead,
add
go
that
ahead.
there's also a lot of gamers that are interested in a game or a genre, but it's too much risk to buy a $500 NFT when they're like, okay, this NFT could go to zero. I could
Mm-hmm.
lose all of my money. Like, it's not like buying a $60 game on Steam, right? It's like it's an investment for people when they're buying assets at that degree.
Yeah.
And arcade takes a lot of that risk out of the equation for gamers because they don't have to buy the asset. They just operate the
Mm-hmm.
asset that we buy. We have a research team that handles like the risk and the analysis of like what positions and what games to get into. So it really takes a lot of stress away from the gaming experience for someone that just wants to like chill after work, go play some games with friends or whatever. Like you don't want to have to like create an investment to play a game you like, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, all good points, I think.
Yeah, because even Star Atlas, I don't know too much about them. I don't, and I guess for some people it's the money, for other people it's the time. For me, it's just I don't have the time to get involved in any other game. So I'd rather take a
Mhm.
low risk approach with these mission pools, get into some Star Atlas, and see what I can do with it.
And why would you want to play a shitty game like Star Atlas anyways? Just push that off onto somebody else and play a real game like Illuvium.
I was hoping we could get through the whole episode without shade at Star Atlas,
No, I'm just kidding. I
but
hope
yeah,
I
no, I know, I know,
genuinely
I know,
I genuinely hope Star Atlas does good. I just like memeing on
I know, I get it, I get it.
them.
I'm gonna clip that tiny little part and put it on Twitter.
I don't care, whatever.
I'll tag the Wagner guy and Kieran and see if we can get another
Oh
debate going
gosh,
on.
please don't. I don't even.
And Kaggy too. I'll tag him as well.
Oh my
Oh man,
god, please no. I don't know what
scorched
When
kind
we
of
earth.
metal
start
it
seeing
is.
when we start seeing something like that, I'll know that the
It's
market's
the
back.
that's a top
We're back.
cycle.
That's a top, yeah, top cycle indicator right
Top
there.
signal, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next topic, though, any new projects you guys have been looking at for mission pools? Anything that we haven't
Yeah,
heard of before? Up and coming games?
yeah. So we have a few that we're working on currently that I think I can leak. I'm thinking about who's going to be mad at me for talking about it. Nah, it's fine. We're looking at expanding to Parallel currently. We have a lot of respect for the Parallel guys. We think they're building a really cool IP. So I'm working on getting a operator sorted and getting him set up with a deck so that he can go and win some prime for a mission pool. So that'll be a fun one because TCGs are like a very polarizing genre. You either love it or you hate it usually. And there's a lot of people that think Parallel is going to do well. Maybe TCGs are just not for them. They want a mission pool where they can get exposure to that economy without having to play a genre that they don't like, right? And that kind of goes back to our roots on some of the problems we're trying to solve for. And the other one we're currently working on putting together is Pixels. If you guys are familiar, it's Ronin Chain. It's like an MMORPG. It actually gives me like it really has given me like flashbacks to when I used to sink tons of hours into RuneScape. It's not like a battler in the same way, but just it feels like a very similar experience. It's been kind of cool to explore that a little bit. So those are two that I can give you, but really I think the sweet sauce of the arcade platform, as it were, is that we're going to just actively be adding more games to the library, and ARC token holders will hopefully always have new opportunities and cool things to get exposure to.
Definitely. All right. So if you're watching this and you don't have an account over at Arcade, go and do that right now. Because I want JP to come back and say he's going to sponsor some more episodes. So make it worth it. Go sign up for an account. Get yourself some ARC tokens. Not financial advice, but I really do think it's a great platform, and I can't wait to see how it progresses through this hopefully bull market that we're entering
Yeah,
again
it's going to be a
today.
lot of fun.
So last topic here. I wanted to get in the topic for Mavia because I haven't been making too much content on it, but like it's really the thing I'm sinking my time in. The second most, after Illuvium. They just had launched their Ruby marketplace. This is really the first bridge from a Web 2 game to a Web 3 game. Like, yeah, Mavia is a Web3 game, but they haven't really had any Web3 integration into it yet. Anyone could be playing. Like, I have my brother and a couple friends playing Mavia, and we've been able to do the same thing, even though I own land. But once they had their first drop for the Ruby Marketplace, which means the first NFTs are actually integrated in game. The land is still not integrated in the game, but now we have these skins that we can actually use. They can be tradable on the marketplace. I think it was a pretty successful sale. There was a limited supply, so it was a little buggy at first. Some people were, not able to get their purchase through. But I like that it's now basically on chain, and now there are Web 2 people who just signed up to play this game because it's fun. They probably went into this marketplace. They might have picked up one or two NFTs, and all of a sudden, they're gonna turn into crypto bros. Because you minted these for 1,000 Ruby, and I think the floor for any of them is like close to 4,000 Ruby right now. So anybody who got in there is just like, oh, like, I just got this as an NFT. They're limited supply. Now it's worth more than I just got it for. I think that could be one of the real ways that we get this adoption that we want. The people who had no idea what NFTs were, and now they're like, oh, now I hold NFTs, and this is great. The value's going up. JP, I know you were playing Mavia a little bit, right?
Yeah. I'm still playing it. Yeah,
Did you
I'm
pick
still
up
playing
any of
it.
these? You pick up
I
any
didn't.
NFTs?
I didn't. The sale kind of snuck up on me. I probably would have. But I also think that, and maybe it's just me. I mean, I'm like blind as a bat. I can hardly see the little characters on the screen, but the skins, like, they just don't jump out at me, right? Like, maybe maybe it's just me, but like it doesn't hit, when I'm like attacking a base and I see the skin on my marine or whatever. It's like, it's not really doing that much for me. I'd rather just save my ruby for something else. So I probably would have, just because I'm a degen, and I would probably speculate and just throw money at things. But I would say, from a gamer's perspective, I don't know that the skins are really like doing enough for me to justify spending money on it. Maybe like for some of the buildings, or the walls and stuff, like maybe that's a more aesthetic thing. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That could be a hot take. Gamers can let me know. But
I'm the
yeah.
same way with that. Like, skins really don't interest me. The only reason I picked these up is because this was their first collection. When they have the second, third, fourth skins collection, I'm probably not going to pick them up. I'll probably save my ruby for something else. But because this was the first collection, I was like, I got to get some of these. And to your point, some of them I was like, if I get a skin on this little troop, like, I'm never gonna notice it. So the first one I went for were the walls, because I'm like,
I think the
you're
walls,
gonna be able to
those
see
can
the
look dope.
walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the walls, and I think I got the gold storage and the oil storage. I was like, which
Gotcha.
ones are gonna stand out the most?
Yeah, the
Um,
buildings, I think I could get behind a little bit more, because I like to flex. It's not that I don't like skins. It's just, for me, the thought of a skin on like one of the berserkers or whatever. It's just like, I'm with you. I would just not notice it.
yeah.
I would forget I have it.
I know Jimbo likes skins though. He can't wait to get some
Oh,
skins for
I love
Illuvium.
skins. I haven't seen. I just googled the Mavia skins because I didn't really think about that, not being able to see them. The characters don't change either, do they? It's just the clothes that they're wearing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the issue, right? Because like you could do that with any skin in any game. You just change the clothes and you call that a skin. Like, yeah, it's a
I don't
skin.
even
Yeah,
know.
yeah, people are gonna like it. But if it's not like super eye popping, like noticeable, then the
Is it
skins are just
even?
not gonna have that appeal.
I don't even think it's clothes that are changing. I think it's just colors, right? I could be wrong, but I don't even think the outfit changes. I think it's literally just like, and again, I'm not throwing shade at Mavia. I love what they're
Yeah.
doing. It wasn't for me for that part of it. I do think that skins in general. So back to your point, I think this is a really cool exhibition of what mainstream adoption can look like. It's someone that just downloaded the game, doesn't have a crypto wallet necessarily. They picked up this NFT without maybe even knowing it, using
Yeah.
something that they earned from playing the game. And Ruby's not even an on-chain token, as far as I know. It's an in-game token that you can
Yep.
later exchange for. I think the idea is that you'll be able to swap Ruby for Mavia token. You'll pay some kind of fee to do that, and then
Yeah, so I think how it actually
Yeah,
works is it'll go through the NFTs. So like you use the Ruby to get the NFTs, and then you can sell the NFTs for Mavia for
gotcha.
the Mavia
Okay,
token. So it won't go Ruby directly to Mavia. It'll go Ruby to NFTs to the Mavia token.
got it. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, I've been honestly having a lot of fun with it. I was super hooked right off the bat, and I think there's some balancing changes that need to happen
Mm-hmm.
because I lost steam a little bit. Dude, it is such a grind to try to get some of the gold that you need for the HQs and stuff. It's just
Yeah,
I lost the heart. So I mean, I think the game is really well built. I think it has a lot of potential. I think it just needs some balancing so that people stay hooked on it.
yeah,
But it was actually an interesting feeling to pay fiat for sapphires, right? And actually like
yep,
feeling the need to do that because this is the first crypto game aside from Parallel. I've also spent fiat on that, but this is like one of the first crypto games where it's like, okay, the economy makes sense to me now because I have the desire to spend real money on this, right? Like
yep,
I'm buying Sapphire because I want to use it to play the game. That's how you know an economy is working in the right direction and it's not just a very cyclical, drain as much money as quickly as you can from the economy type thing. So that excited me as a gamer
mm-hmm.
and gives me some faith in what they're doing.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I bought some of the in-game purchases, the Sapphire. Oh yeah, like I did kind of like I was really excited playing a lot right at the beginning, like you were saying. Then it kind of got a little, I guess, a little boring, a little slow for a little while. But once I saw that this Ruby marketplace was opening up and they had their first collection drop, like I just got right back into it. And then I picked
Hmm.
up 4 of the NFTs, and then now every day I'm just like, I need to collect these rubies. Like I
Yeah.
can't go to sleep. Yeah, I need to collect my rubies. And it was just a little taste of the Web3 part of this game. So that gets me even more excited for like a game like Illuvium that I'm going to be playing too.
Hmm.
Once we get that real taste of okay, this has some real value, like to me that's just gonna that's it. That's what I've been waiting 3 years for, basically.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really fun feeling.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I genuinely am getting to the point where, and again, it goes back to why we created Arcade. I will be depositing into mission pools myself because I
Mm,
can't keep up with all the different things, and I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on opportunities. Like I literally, I'm now playing 5 different. I'm just looking around at like I have like several devices set up with like different things. I've got Parallel on this computer. I've got Pixels on my laptop. I've got Big Time over here. It's like I'm playing like 4 or 5 different games and it's taking up so much time, right? It's like I'm also trying to run a company. It's like there's no way.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to start cutting things. So
Yeah. Oh, I
but it's
know.
fun.
Time. I wish we had more time in the day. I
Hmm.
wish we had 30-hour days. I think I could do a lot more with a 30-hour day.
Yep.
Right.
Jimbo,
No, that game sucks. I'm playing Illuvium right now.
Illuvium. This is all this guy wants to play is Illuvium. I'm
No.
like I'm just behind him. I'll
No,
touch on some other games, but
I've heard they've done really good stuff, so I'm happy for them. Again, I wouldn't play it anyways. I'm not a mobile game person really.
yeah, yeah. You
Hmm.
said that you don't care for Illuvium's
But when
real
someone
rabbits
comes out
either.
with a great Web3 MOBA, I will be playing that religiously. So
Yeah. It's
anybody who
coming
wants to
this
make a League of
cycle.
Legends NFT game,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a few like preview of a few good ones, but I mean, in
I
NFT
was gonna
games,
say
like a lot of them are like scams or like built to be like a scam. So,
I've met I mean I've talked to probably 1,000 different teams that are building games in the past 3 years, but I can tell you with confidence that there are some quality Web3 MOBAs being built. So you will not have to wait hopefully too long.
yeah, I was playing Sparkball a lot, but apparently they're not gonna have NFTs in their game now anymore. So that's unfortunate.
There has been some hard pivots as well from some of these
I
some of
can't
these.
even blame them, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, you see like all the hate that you get from Web2 sheep normies, and it's like especially with certain genres of games, they attract certain types of people that just, would eat you alive for having NFTs in your game. So it
That's
takes more
taking the
time.
easy. That's taking the easy way out, though. I
No,
have more
I
respect for the people who stuck with the NFTs throughout this whole bear market.
I mean, I feel you, but like when you put your whole life into something, you don't want to just like gamble it away. So I see both sides.
Well, that was it was a good episode. think we're all done here. Jimbo, thanks for joining and giving us your expert opinions. Yeah. JP, again, thanks for coming. I'm excited to see what happens with Arcade. Obviously, I mean, me and you, we're talking at least once a week in the community council meetings on different things.
Yeah.
So we'll be in touch. And again, leave any questions down below, whether it's about Arcade or Illuvium or Mavia, anything you think we can answer for you. Leave some comments, like it, go follow socials. I'll have both of their socials down below. And don't forget about what Roger posted.
The core contributor. Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah.
It's Aykut. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, unfortunate for that. If you have anything to give, I'll leave a link to that post down below. But that's it for this episode.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's it for this episode. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, and I'm
really determined to get this firework thing to work.
Yeah, why is this not happening, dude? It's starting to piss me off, dude.
I don't know how you did it last time.
I don't know.
That was pretty cool.
That was crazy.
All
It was
right.
magic.
See you guys.
See ya.